welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayshawn, and thank you so much for clicking on this video today. Your girl is back with another freaking video because I got my handy dandy phone. You know that it is an Askkay. If you don't know what an Askkay is, it is a series I do on my channel where I read your story times, or you can ask what would Kay do in a situation, or just ask for an advice. The email is in my description box below. Make sure you send it to the correct email with correct grammar, okay? But y'all already know. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Kayshawn with 3 E's. But y'all know how I like to do it. I don't want to ramble too much longer, so without further ado, let's hop right into the... Wait, is y'all subscribed? And make sure y'all thumbs up this video and comment before y'all leave. Now, without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Let's go. Alright, so boom! Sign on. Alright, y'all, so boom! I already got the story time pulled up. It is titled Lethal Sneaky Link. It says, "Hey Kay, I love your story times, and they have inspired me to tell you this story because I want to live in my truth and get this off my chest for once and for all. Before I hop into the story, I'll give you some background to give you the full picture, and without further ado, here's the story." Okay, period, sis. For this story, call me Nina. This story is pretty recent, so I'll give you fake names. I'm from a small city that's known for a lot of gun violence. This is one of the main reasons I never liked thugs or hood dudes, because my biggest fear was to lose someone I cared for to these streets. Girl, tell me about it, I promise you. Oh, boom. About a year ago, I was in this clique of people, both boys and girls, I've known for years, but we never chilled for real until we got older. Sometime last summer, everyone from the clique was posted up on a known block with some other mutual friends. So I ended up going down there with my cousin. At this point in time, I was talking to this dude. He doesn't really need a name because he isn't brought up much, but for the sake of the story, let's call him EJ. EJ had a brother, and we're going to call him BD. Me and BD would text before I started talking to EJ, but not on nothing serious, but at some point we did exchange numbers through text. Wait, if y'all already talking, how y'all exchange numbers? Okay, my bad. Anyways, all night, BD kept looking at me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was looking back at him because he was fine, tall, had gear, had curly hair, nice lips, and a cute smile. He was fine, and he knew he was. Mind you, I already told you we would text before, but this was the first time seeing each other face to face because it was only ever through social media. Okay, got you. After everyone left home, me and my cousin decided to call BD on a group FaceTime, and as we were talking, he said,
"Doesn't one of y'all talk to my brother?"
Which I denied because laughed my ass off. Me and the EJ weren't serious. He didn't do relationships, and we both already knew what it was. He was just someone to talk to for real. Fast forward to the end of the summer, BD began to react to my pictures more and swipe up on my stories. Me and the EJ, why do you keep calling him the EJ? Me and the EJ weren't talking anymore. We fell off by this point in time. Anyways, we will always talk about linking up, but would never go through with it until the beginning of the year. So one day, girl, you gotta use some periods, okay? These run on sentences. Until the beginning of this year. So one day, I had just come home from being out with my cousin and her boyfriend, and BD had texted me. He asked me if I was busy, and I had replied no, but a couple minutes later, my dad asked me to take him to my uncle's. So as I was driving, BD had called twice, and I wasn't going to answer no call while I'm on the freeway at night. Anyways, once I parked, I called him back, and he was talking about some, "Text me back, what's your address so I can come pick you up?" And obviously I wasn't home, so I ended up telling him I would let him know when I was there so he could come by. This took me by surprise because I didn't think he would actually link, and especially wasn't expecting him to apply pressure like that. About 20 minutes later, I let him know I got home. He came, I got in the car, and while we were driving, he kept looking at me. I said, "What?" And he replied with,
"Nothing. You just look good."
and all I did was smirk. You already know I had to keep it player. Anyways, after some conversation, he parks and goes into a store and asks if I wanted anything. I then said no, and before he got out, he grabbed his gun and put it in front of his pants. And I really don't know why that was so attractive to me, because sometimes that hood shit be looking good. I ain't gonna lie. As dangerous as it is, that shit, them niggas be looking fun, okay? Anyways, once he left the car, I took a video just for memories because why not? I want to say I want to say about 8 minutes later, he came back to the car and asked me if there was anything I wanted to do or anywhere I wanted to go. And I said no, because what was there really to do? We weren't even supposed to be together. He then asked me if I was going to his house, and that was okay with me, and I said yes, because even though he was fine, I knew how to behave. Anyways, we reach his house, we go to his room, he takes his you know what out and puts it on his table where his gaming set is, and I sat on his bed. He offered me something to drink and whatnot. Then we laid down, and I can't even lie to you, the whole time we were just kicking it and laughing. He put on some Netflix and we watched it for a little, then began to talk about life and about how he wanted to get out of our city. He asked me where we were going to move after I graduated. He was already out of high school. We had a 3-year age gap. He asked you where y'all was about to move? Because wait a minute, this y'all first night for real talking. He asked him where y'all about to move. He talked about something he wanted me to have 10 of his kids, the typical nigga talk, of course. And as we're talking about the future, he went on to tell me he felt like he was going to die soon. Of course, I was telling him not to think like that, and that he was too young, and that he still had a life ahead of him. He then proceeded to kiss me, and I'm not gonna lie, we were kissing for a while, but nothing past that. Girl, girl. Ended up being together till 5 a.m. He drove me home and gave me a kiss before I got out. He texted me once he got home, and that's how that night ended. We texted for a little while after that, but let's fast forward to the night we got into it. I want to say it was around 9 p.m., maybe even 10, because I had gotten off work at 8, and he had texted if I was home so he could come pick me up, and of course I told him to come get me. You know, I hopped in the shower, got ready, and put on a little sexy little set because I was on that type of time. Anyways, he comes, I get in the car, we chat, and we end up at his house. We talk about our day, and not too long after that, we ended up kissing. Girl, this man's tongue was all up in my mouth as I was laying down with him on top of me. Then he grabbed me by my waist and put me on top of him, and we continued kissing, okay? I only had some sweatpants and a jacket on because, you know, that's easy to slip on and off, period. He started sliding down my sweatpants as I'm on top. He whipped it out, and he was trying to put it in, but I was like, all right, y'all, it's getting a little rated R, so, you know, if you ain't old enough, hold on. She said he whips it out and was trying to put it in me, but I was too tight, so it wouldn't fit. I then laid down and told him to give me some, you know what. Oh, y'all, she getting X-rated. He was eating it and was, you know what, me. He then sat up and continued me, just staring at me, then back at my you know what as he whipped his you know what back out, okay? Girl, when I saw that thing, child, not only was he fine, but the man was blessed with a pretty long and thick you know what. He put it from the side and switched to all fours. He wanted some missionary, but that hurts too much. Oh, wait a minute, girls, you young. Did you say you was out of high school? Because you said he been out of high school for a couple years. Was it 3 years? 8? Okay. I'm trying to make sure you of age before I talk about you getting the Goonies knocked down. Okay, I think we safe, y'all. I think we safe. Okay, girl. But girl, yeah, you said it hurt too much. Was you a V? Oh, my bad. That's not right. Hold on, my bad, y'all. She said she liked it from the back better. Anyways, we get done, we chill, and we watch some Netflix. Then I went home. My damn Flow app was telling me that I was on my last days of ovulating, so I didn't think much of it till my period was late. But I wasn't too worried because it usually never comes the day it's supposed to anyways. I was 1 day late, then 2 days late, then 3 days late, then 4 days late. I was scared because we did it with no condom. Come on now, girl. I hit this man up like, listen, we need to talk. Then my period came the day after. Anyways, girl, let's fast forward to 2 weeks later. We would text, but not all like that. Either I would take long to respond or he would take long to respond. But every time we would run into each other, we would always smirk. He ended up texting me, asking me when I would be free, and I had told him I was off for the next 3 days. He asked if he could see me, and I had said yes, but it never went through because I had something going on. So a week later, he had texted me if I was busy, and I had told him no, and he asked to come pick me up. But I had fallen asleep without texting him back. The next day I woke up, girl, you playing. The next day I woke up, and I texted him, then went to work. Anyways, during the last hour of my shift, I felt sick. Like my head was pounding and I was overheating. I waited till my shift was over. I clocked out and left. I got home, laid down and started looking through Snap stories. One of our mutual friends posted him with a broken heart. Then my cousin called me and told me that something happened. That BD and another friend had gotten shot while riding motorcycles, and that one of them died and that the other one was in the hospital. Girl, I cried because I was in shock. I kept refreshing his Facebook because people were posting but weren't saying who passed. And I kept texting him, hoping he would text me back, even though I know he wouldn't. An hour later, everybody started posting RIP BD and long live BD. Girl, I didn't know what to feel. As I was scrolling, I saw a girl post on his timeline, I got our baby for life. Girl, he had a whole baby on the way. They found out it was a girl the day after he passed, hence why I named him BD for baby daddy. Just, it's been a month since he's been gone, and I just had to get this off my chest some way, somehow. I still question what it would have been like if I would have been pregnant too. I think about him all the time. There isn't any hate in my heart for him because regardless of how it all played out, he was a cool ass dude and didn't deserve what happened to him. I still text him like he was here, and before anyone comes at me, no, she wasn't his girlfriend. It was just someone he was messing with on the low. But girl, I hope this was a good story. Love your channel and the energy you give. Keep doing you, sis. Woo, girl. I try not to cry. I had to take a little break. That hit home too much. Okay, I don't like to get emotional, but girl, I feel your pain. If y'all don't know, which a lot of y'all don't know because I don't talk about it, I did have an ex who passed away as well. And you know, I would like to say it get easier. The crazy thing is, and this is just like a vulnerable moment with you guys, I'll have those what if thinking too, like what if my boyfriend was still here from then? Like I feel like, oh, we would have had kids. Like I always be thinking like, what if that's the reason why I don't have kids now, or why I'm still single? Like was he the one that I was supposed to be with? And you know, losing these dudes to the streets is never easy. And I'm okay, y'all. Now I don't need y'all to comment like, no, that's not why you're single, that's not why you don't have kids. I know, because I have plenty of options, but they just wasn't no good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, y'all. Don't worry, I'm definitely straight. It's been years since the passing of him. So sis, it definitely gets easier. I know he wasn't your boyfriend, but still, losing people to these streets is never easy. It's never easy. That's why I'm so on my P's and Q's now, because you just never know. Like violence, it's just crazy. But girl, like I said, take it day by day. Some days you're gonna be 100%. Some days you're gonna be 50%. Some days you're gonna want to cry at night on days. Some days you're gonna be good. You get the, because some days I have where I look at his pictures and I can laugh. Some days I look at his pictures and I cry. It goes up and down. But girl, whatever you do, you just keep pushing through. Even though, like you said, that wasn't your boyfriend, but still, girl, that don't mean it don't hit the same. Losing people is just, it's just an unfortunate thing. And I really wish all this violence and gun violence and gangs and street shit would just go away. I really wish it would go away. Okay. But okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, it's getting a little too emotional in here for me. Okay, y'all know I'm a Cancer. Y'all know we emotional. Let's move along. Whew, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna take this part out because I didn't want y'all to see me emotional or like this. But y'all know I'm a real ass bitch at the end of the day, and I like to keep it very transparent with y'all. So I left it in solely so I can be relatable to some people. I know some people can relate to a situation like this. I know it's hard to probably see me like this because y'all so used to seeing me like all fun and games. But it's okay, y'all. Know that I'm okay, and you will be too. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Bye. All right, y'all, we're going to do one more Askkay, okay? So let's hop right into it. All right, y'all, so boom. This is an advice one. It says, is my friend a bad person? Hey, girl, I love your channel, but this story time is more like an advice story. Should I look at my friend differently or mind my business? So boom, I have a close friend. We can call her Maddie. Me and Maddie have been friends for several years, and I consider them to be one of my closest friends. Maddie was madly in love with a crazy narcissist. We could call him Shitty. He cheated on her several times and treated her like absolute shit. As time passed, she finally leaves Shitty and then moves on with a new man. We could call him Stanley. Stanley was the complete opposite of Shitty. He was very kind and he knew how to care for a woman. Everything seemed to be going well on his side, but this time it was Maddie who became questionable. Shitty had a best friend named Sean. When Maddie and Shitty lived together, Sean was at the house basically every single day. Maddie and Sean got along well during their relationship, but when they broke up, things became strange. Sean and Maddie began talking every single day, every day. Keep in mind, Maddie is dating Stanley now, and Sean is still best friends with Shitty. She begins to tell me that Sean had started to flirt with her, and it was suspicious. It wasn't just one-sided. She claims that they are now really good friends. She did admit to finding him cute, but claims she would never cross that line because he still is Shitty's best friend. Weeks go by, and Stanley and Maddie are in a rough spot in the relationship. She will often tell me that they got into a lot of heated arguments and is contemplating breaking up, but would never actually leave him. She then tells me that she started smoking with Sean alone at his place. I immediately started thinking they did something, but she kept telling me they only smoked and chill. And she went home and they are just really good friends. Mind you, she lives with Stanley now, so she would lie and say she was hanging out with her girlfriends. A couple times me and Maddie would have nights out drinking, and she would invite Sean to come out and not Stanley. We would come back to her place, and I would always leave first before Stanley. Somehow I felt like I was third wheeling with them, LOL, which is the crazy part. Some times go by, and Maddie begins to talk about how shitty Stanley is. You can't be using that word because you didn't name somebody that. But how horrible Stanley is, and the only reason she is still with him is because he gives her money to help pay rent. I low-key felt a little off because he seemed like a real genuine guy that honestly cared about her, but I brushed it off because it really wasn't my business. Now here is where it got weird. One day, me and Maddie are out and drinking, and she confesses she slept with Sean several times the whole time. I was shocked Sean would betray his best friend like that. But get this, Maddie was still talking to Shitty every day along with Sean. When she told me she was sleeping with Sean, she said she had no remorse for Shitty after everything he did to her. But then when I would ask why she's still talking to Shitty, she would say she has compassion for him and they are each other's listening ears. On top of her still dating Stanley. And he has no idea. And this love triangle still isn't over. She then tells me she also was sleeping with her old sneaky link she was in love with. She would tell me she would tell Stanley that she was hanging out with me, but the whole time she was busy getting ran through. Dang, girl. To this day, he has no idea, and I honestly feel bad for him. He does everything for her and more. They now have an apartment together, and all of her sinful activities has seemed to stop, but she still talks to Sean, LOL. I just don't understand how anyone could morally do all that. It really made me look at Maddie differently because honestly, that was very fucked up. Should I really chill from her, or is it not my business and I shouldn't worry about it? Sorry my story was so long and I needed a second opinion. Thanks, girl. Girl, don't worry, your story wasn't long at all. Personally, and y'all can be mad at me in the comments, I think you should mind your business. It's one thing if you don't want to have a friend like Maddie as a friend, then cool. If you feel like she's doing too much and you don't like the way she's moving, if you don't want to be her friend, then that's fine. But as far as Stanley, like, I get you want to feel bad for him. Like, I feel bad for him. But that's your best friend. If she want to get her lick back, that's on her. I'm not saying what she doing is right or wrong. I'm not even talking about that. But that's her business. If your friend want to run the streets and get ran through like you said, that's her business. Now, if you choose not to want to be her friend because of that, you got every right. But for you to, like, you talking about you looking at her different. Listen, she done been with this guy, probably got her heart broke, got treated like shit. So if she want to get her lick back with the best friend, once again, I'm not personally saying that is right, but that's her business. And if she want to have a dude at home and a person on the side, she got to take that up with her, them, and God. I just feel like it's really not your business, because if that was my best friend running through town, if I'ma still choose to be her best friend, then I'm not gonna be worried about it. Like, you could still feel bad for Stanley, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I could see she not treating you wrong. She treating the dudes wrong. And once again, I ain't saying it's right, but I just think that's her business. Like, you too involved with what she got going on with her dudes. And I'm not saying you can't have a heart for like a good guy. That's fine. But those, let her deal with her roster. Like, whoever she got on her roster, whether they good, bad, whether she messing with two friends, that's on her. Like, I truly feel like you need to mind your business when it comes to whoever she's talking to, sleeping with, living with. Now, if she was messing with one of your boys or one of your exes or one of your sneaky links, cool, but I think you need to mind your business. Like, whoever trying to knock her goonies down, that's on her. Like, I just feel like getting involved for what? Like you could feel bad for Stanley and stuff, but listen, she probably feel like she done let this dude walk all over her talking about shitty, so maybe she just out and she trying to get back in the field and get her lick back. Who knows what she's doing, but whatever she's doing, that's her business, you know. So I personally think you need to fall back. Like, be her friend, and you could tell her about it. You can always be like, hey friend, look, I don't like what you doing. Stanley a good dude. You treating him wrong. You need to chill out. You can always say that as her friend, but whatever she chooses to do with her body is ultimately up to her. So if you feel like you don't like how she moving and you no longer want to be her friend, then just stop being friends with her. But as far as getting in her business about the dudes that she's sleeping with, whether you feel like it's right or wrong, I think that's a no-no. Like, that's, you can't be worried about the people's vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like, let her mind her business. Because what if you was doing that? I mean, you sound like a decent person, so maybe you wouldn't do it. But just hypothetically, what if you was doing that? Would you want your best friend all in your mix trying to tell you how to deal with your dudes, your niggas, your roster? No, like, so let homegirl live. Let her live. It might not be right, but shit, everything ain't right in the world. Everything ain't right anyway. So listen, let her be. So I personally think you should mind your business, but that's just me. Alright, y'all, that is the end of their story times. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Make sure you comment down below what you think about both of these story times, or give advice to both of these girls. As always, let's keep it respectful. But thumbs up this video, comment, double check to make sure you are subscribed, and y'all already know. Until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Peace.